tables actually.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great.
And slowly I'm also slowly learning the data stage uh, technology also. So along
Mhm.
with this, I want to learn this talent
Yeah. So
ETL tool.
the coding style and the the flow style and all similarly. Talent is looks like data stage only. So if you know data stage, talent will be easy, and if you know talent, data stage will be like easy, like that it will be. So it looks like the flavor. I can say it's like a flavor of both flavors are looks same, talent and data stage. Okay, let me talk about the talent first. Hi Sudhir. Is he Sudhir join?
Yeah, hi Mahesh.
Okay, hi. I see some Sri K. Who is this? Hi Sri K. I see some. Can you? Yeah, yeah. You're already in on mute. You can speak now. Sri, can you hear me? Okay. Some other also join. Okay. So I think everyone able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Let me talk about the Talent. So Talent basically a company name. They are started at 2006, so around 11 years back they started, and they have products. They have different products like data integration for big data, master data management, data quality, enterprise service bus, cloud integration. So like that, they have a number of products, but the most popular product is data integration, Talent data integration. This is the one, Talent Open Studio for big data. This is Open Studio, I think, but open source and ETL tool. I can say integration tool or ETL tool, both are same only. So it supports lot of source systems as well as target systems. If I say source systems, databases. If I say databases, it will support all these databases: Mesa Firebird, Greenplum, Hive, IBM DB2. So all this stuff, my MySQL, Netezza, Oracle, Teradata, Exadata, Vertical database, all these databases. Apart from these databases, you can read the data from delimited files, positional files, regular expression files, XMLs, Excels, JSON, Salesforce data, NoSQL connections like MongoDB, Cassandra, Neo4j, Hadoop clusters, web services, and FTP. So this is Open Studio basically. Open Studio will have some input and output connections. If you go for Enterprise Edition, nothing but a paid version. So you'll be having some more options like HL7 file. There is a file called HL7 file. It supports HL7 file. In that it supports COBOL file. You need to scan the metadata of a copybook, and you can read the data from the COBOL systems. So like that, they have different. They are supporting almost most of the source systems and target systems in nowadays. So apart from this, basically Talent data integration, Talent Open Studio for big data, Talent data integration, or Talent Open Studio for data integration. So this basically mainly this is created for data warehousing purpose to load the data from source systems to target systems. While loading data from source to target, we need to apply some business logic, nothing but aggregation, joins, cleansing of data, and expressions kind of filtering the data, removing the unnecessary data, capturing the rejects. All this stuff we can do with this particular ETL talent ETL tool. And working with talent is really easy, and it's a mature tool. Why the talent got popular nowadays is, so this guy is, the source code of this particular talent is Java. The talent is developed in Java, and big data. When coming to the big data also developed in Java. So there is a handshake between the talent and big data was really good. The code which you developed in Talend, you can deploy the code directly in a big data server, and it will run with the big data server's speed. So it doesn't require ETL server separately. If you have a big data server and if you want to do some ETL jobs, and that ETL jobs you can directly deploy in the big data server and there you can run. Because ultimately, if you build something, if you create something in a Talend that generates the Java code, the Java code will run in any machine where the Java is required, where the Java is installed. One second, please. Any questions? If you have any questions, you just ask me so that I will take a session on that way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So apart from this, when coming to the market for this talent, I see a very good market for talent in US and India because most of my friends are working on talent in US and India. So why? I mean, just 2 to 3 years back, there was no that much market for talent in India and US because when you search for the talent jobs in a Naukri or some job sites, you'll be seeing only first page for the openings. But nowadays, there are 4 to 5 pages on talent. That's apart from that, the packages, the salaries, and all, they're giving more right because of less resources in the market. So someone wants to switch or someone wants to get into the market, software market, and who wants to get job in talent, I mean, in software and all. I think the best tool is talent. Why? Because there is a very limited resources are available in the market, and if there is an opening for some 10 people, only the 10 people are coming for the interview. So if you are best, then you can easily crack that interview. So the topics that I'm going to cover as part of this particular training is uh, list of files. So I'll be providing you the software, complete software and one database for installation and files for practice and JDK. What are the supporting documents required, supporting software required, everything I will be providing. So this is my curriculum, data warehousing concepts and ETL concepts. If you people are aware of data warehousing and ETL concepts, then fine. Or else I'll be taking some complete walkthrough for a data warehousing. What is data warehousing? What is the need of data warehousing in real time? All this stuff and ETL stuff like why the ETL is required and all this stuff. And after that, the core. After these two topics, I'm going to discuss the installation part. I will ask you guys. I'll guide you and I'll tell you how to install the software and how. I mean the installation and all this stuff I'll be taking care. And I'll tell you. I will guide you so that you can install in your machine. The minimum requirement is like 4 GB of RAM is required. Any processor, any hard disk is fine, but the RAM should be a 4 GB of RAM. And the from here, the third, the actual talent transformations will start. How to sort the data, how do you do any union operations on data, how to remove the duplicates, how to keep the memory how to keep the data in a memory for some temporary purpose, how to load multiple files in a single table or single file or single target system, how to keep the job for pause, how to keep the job in pause for some seconds, how to iterate. So there are a number of components here. How to send a mail based on the notifications, like whether the job is success or fail. If the job fails, then failure notification, or the job is success, then job success notification, all this stuff. How to filter the rows. Okay, and the important topic is context load. How to parameterizing the job, pre-job and post-job to execute some stuff before the job or after the job. All this stuff can handle here. Normalization, denormalization. There's an important component called tmap. So this component itself will take some 5 hours to explain. Remaining topics and all fine, but this particular 30th point, tmap. Tmap is a core component in talent. So this component will take around 30 hours, some 4 to 5 hours to explain about this particular component, especially. So aggregations, joins, some Java concepts. So the prerequisite is SQL is mandatory. If you know SQL, then it is fine. If you doesn't know, also fine. But you need to, uh, uh, to survive in a software industry, any guy, he may be a testing guy, as maybe a developer, he may be a lead, or he may be a manager, or any guy who wants to be in a software industry. He must need to know one SQL knowledge, one SQL tool. One SQL language, any SQL like Oracle or MS SQL, MySQL, NetSQL, other data. What are, one SQL is required. One programming language. The programming language may be a basic or C, C++, Java. One programming language is required. That will not completely. It's some knowledge like how the programming language will work, how it is compiled, and how it is compiled to machinery language, how it is executed in a server, and how it is getting the results. All this stuff need to be. One programming language is required. One SQL is required. Apart from this, so you need one operating system knowledge. It may be a Linux or Unix or Solaris, whatever it may be, Windows. One programming language is, one operating system knowledge is required. If you know all these three, you can learn any tool, any programming language or any tool or anything. So these three are basics, right? If you doesn't have a knowledge, or if you doesn't have time, just spend some 30 to 40 minutes daily to learn Linux commands, to learn some SQL commands, to learn some basic programming language, any programming language. Okay. So in this, as part of this particular training, these three components also important: Java, Java, JavaFlex, all these components. And like this, we have some components on file operations, FTP operations, database operations, and I'll be explaining the SCDs, slowly changing dimensions. So basically, if we are talking about data warehouse, we need to talk about dimension tables and fact tables. So we'll go through that. We'll have a proper idea what is dimension and what is fact table. We'll discuss like 1 or 2 hours to understand the data warehousing and the data warehousing tables, data mart, data warehousing, all of this stuff. And finally, if you want to store the data in a data warehousing table, it must be a dimension table or fact table, right? Most of the places will create a data warehousing in the form of dimensions and fact table. So what is SCD1? Slowly changing dimension 1, slowly changing dimension 2 and 3. So how to implement that in Talend? So this is very important topic. And after that, one complete project, one complete data warehousing project, pre-staging, stage loading, dimension loading, fact loading, how to create a documents, what are the supporting documents required to release the build, how the build will move from one environment to another environment, what is the release notes, how we are maintaining the versioning. So all this stuff from here, that from some 96, around some 10 classes only on real time, how the talent is useful in the market and how we are creating a project. So all this stuff I'll be sharing you the project, complete project, which is a live project. The project which is already running in a such client machine, I have that project with me. So I'll be giving the requirements and I'll be guiding you how to do a project. I'll give the complete what do you call it, backup of the project to you guys. So if you have a time, just spend some 10 to 15 days to complete the project. If you complete the project and if you complete the course, no one is required to, no one is, you doesn't require any help to crack the interviews. And yeah, this is about the curriculum. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, just ask me so that I will guide you. I will go through that way.
Hi
Hi,
Mahesh.
Mahesh. Please go ahead.
Tell me, Abhi.
Uh, Talend can run in the Unix also.
Yes, it will run on Unix and Mac machine also.
Uh,
There is no restrictions because see wherever the Java is installed, whether the Java will get executed, the talent also will get executed.
Okay.
Now,
Mahesh, how many classes you're planning to cover? How many classes
it takes 35
you're
hours.
planning?
35 hours.
35 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
30 to 35 hours. And finally, I just created one. If you, I don't know whether you guys are going to search job on talent or not, but I just created a document for it. interview questions. So if you open this document, I just prepared based on my experience, based on my uh, uh, students and colleagues' experience. I just prepared one talent interview questions and answers document. So there, and you have answers also, not only the questions, and you have answers for these questions also. Around like some some 57 pages document I just created in Talent. So you'll be getting most of the interview questions. Like I can say, like 70 to 80% of interview questions will come from this particular document only. So we'll be discussing this at the end of the session once the complete course is done. So we'll be taking some 2 to 3 hours of time to have some discussion, like what is how the question will be and how to answer all this stuff. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah, Mahesh.
yeah,
Will you be able to provide the scenarios for us to practice?
yeah. Most of the stuff, whatever I cover, uh, I mean, what are the topics I will cover for each and every day? I will be giving some scenarios. Once after the session, the last 5 minutes is for creating sessions. Like how I'll so you can see the documents. So each and every session, I will be giving use cases document like this.
Okay, thank you.
So at the end of the session, I will be giving like this: use case one, use case two, use case three, like that. So I'll be providing the softwares and required files for doing that use case and all. So I have a number of use cases, uh, like collected from uh, number of resources. Like some people will go to the interview, and there will be scenarios that people will give. So that scenarios and all, I just framed. I mean, I just documented the document I have, and I will share the document with you guys. And if someone wants to do a certification on Talent, once after this course, let me know. The certification is like $100 you need to pay to the talent website. I mean talent people, so that they will give you a link. You can sit in your home and you can do that certification. The minimum pass mark is 80%, and 80% the pass mark, and only one attempt. The course, I mean the exam will be like 1.5 hour. Only one attempt will be there. If you failed, again you need to pay $10 to get the uh, uh, I mean to do the exam again. So if you guys are planning for a certification, let me know. So we'll sit together at the time of doing it, and we'll connect through some remote, and we'll try to finish it. Any other questions?
Mahesh, are you going to cover the big data also? Talent with big data.
Yes. If you know big data, then it will be easy. If you doesn't know big data, then bit difficult to. I mean, Talent will give you a very good environment to uh, work with the big data. Okay, why? Because
Yeah.
talent is developed in Java and big data also in Java. So it is easy. I mean, if you doesn't know something something in big data, you can write a Java code there. So we have components. There you can write our Java code, and that will get executed in Talent. So the handshake between the Talent and big data was good. And suppose if you want to do some operations on a big data, so if you want to write some script in big data, so you must need to know map reduce and all, right? So to write a
Yeah.
coding in a big data. But if using the Talent, you just drag and drop the components. By default, in the background, the Talent will generate the map reduce code, right? You doesn't require to write a map reduce code again. It will generate the map reduce code in the
Oh,
background. If you run the Talent job,
oh.
obviously the map reduce code will go and execute in the server. That's how it works.
And we can customize the components as well.
Yes, that's what the Talent Open Studio will comes with a source code. Open Studio, nothing but open source. Talent has both two versions, open source and enterprise. Enterprise will have some 20 to 30% extra features when compared to Open Studio. Still, most of the companies are using Open Studio for their data warehousing needs, ETL needs. Uh, so uh, I will start with Open Studio first, and I will be explaining all the stuff in the Open Studio, and later on I will be covering to the Enterprise Edition, so that you will be feeling the difference between what is Open Studio and Enterprise. And the Talent software will uh, comes along with the uh, source code, so that if you want to customize Talent, you can customize it. If you have a Java team and if you have a Java knowledge, you can create your custom components. In Talent, we call it as a components. Component nothing but one transformation, I can say. In the ETL, extract, transform, and load, the transform or extra any component. If you want to customize, you can customize it. So the source code will be available. You can edit the source code and you can use it. Any other questions? So, or else I'll show you how to create a job and one small job in Talent, like how much time it will take and how to create a job in Talent. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. I think two more join. Uh, Hi Prasad. Hi Manu.
Hi Mahesh.
Hi. Hi Prasad.
Hey, hi, Mahesh.
Mm, Prasad, you only sent a message, right? That your friends are also going to join, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Do they join?
so one of Sujindra is there. Sujindra?
Prasad, actually, his daughter is what is not letting him. What is a mute actually? He's on mute.
Okay.
Okay. Two members are there, Sujindra
Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah. So the thing is like I trained around. I mean, I have a teaching experience from last 3 years. I was teaching from last 3 years as a trainer. I was taking some online classes as well as classroom classes, and I was involved in corporate training. I took some 6 corporate trainings in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Apart from this, so learning Talent is really easy. It's not like a very big deal because it's a tool. It's not a programming language or it's not like a uh, scripting and all. It's like drag and drop and all our components. And it's easy to learn and easy to work with the Talent. Whenever you get it, see, you will be seeing very less stuff uh, in the online for these errors and basically the support is very less for Talent because people are not there and they are not documenting. So, what type of errors you are getting at the time of practice, or what are the issues that you are facing at the time of practice? Just document them, or else I will be creating one WhatsApp group, and even I have one big WhatsApp group. There are around 180 people are there, 140 or 150 people are there. So in that around 120 people are already working on Talent, and some people are like freshers or the recently learned Talent people also there in that group. So the group is mainly created for Talent. Only the Talent related stuff will be discussed there, like openings and all, and issues, and the new concepts in Talent, documents. All this stuff will only that stuff will be discussed in that particular group. I will be adding you guys in that group. So whenever you feel, I mean, whenever you face some issues while working on a Talent or while doing practice or not, you can ask your questions there. You can post your questions there. Only Talent related questions, not else, not other than that. Or else technical related questions. Any questions is fine. And so so these components, what are the components that I'm going to cover as part of this training is enough, more than enough for to getting a job or to work with the Talent. So let me give a small introduction, like one creating one small job in Talent. Suppose I want to load the data from one particular flat file, CSV file, to one Oracle table. Okay, see how easy it was. Abhi, the fees and all will discuss. Please note down my mobile number. It's 9700 46 5570. I won't charge much. More like this is my mobile number.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Suppose I have file like this. Okay. This is called employee some employee data. You can you feel it's like employee data, and basically it's a delimited file or CSV file, and we can say if I say delimited file, each and every column is separated with some delimiter, and each and every row is separated with some delimiter. So here the first line is header. It's not, the header doesn't have any data. It is simply a header, nothing but information about this particular file. And from the second line, actual data data got started, right? So this is row. If I say whatever I selected is row, and employee number, employee name, salary, HRA. So all of these columns, called as columns. Suppose if you want to store the data in a database or somewhere, you must need to store the data in a format of rows and columns, right? But if you want to store the data in NoSQL database like MongoDB, Cassandra, there the concept will be different. So there will be like tree structure, and you will be storing data in an unstructured format, semi-structured format. So the XMLs and JSONs and all came to the market. So nowadays most of the market is on JSON and XML as a source and target. So I'll be covering that also, how to pull the data from XMLs and how to create XML, how to process the XML data, the complex XMLs, simple XMLs, simple JSON, complex JSON, all this stuff, like web services stuff. Suppose if you want data from a web services like Facebook or Twitter or some other social network site or some other websites, you want to pull the data. Nowadays, most of the people are preferring that web services, uh, XMLs as a source on target. So I'll be taking some 2 to 3 hours of session on XMLs and JSON to understand XMLs and JSON, how to pull the data from the JSON and XML. Uh, and apart from this, let me show you one small job, how to load the data from a file to a table. This is my file, and this is located at desktop temp folder. Okay. So suppose if you want to load the data from this particular file to a table, so first you need to create a connection to the Oracle database. Suppose you want to load the data into the database, or if you want to take the data from the database and all. So first we need to create a metadata and the connections to the database. Suppose let me create a connection to the Oracle. Right click and say create connection. So this is a place called repository, and this is the place where you create your job and you'll execute your job and you'll see the results here itself and everything. So first time if you open a Talend, it looks like this, simple. Okay, so here you can create a job, and here you can scan the metadata of a file or table or XML, JSON, whatever it may be. Okay, so metadata, right click and say go to the metadata and select the DB connection. Right click and say create connection. I'm just saying Oracle underscore some demo 1 2 3. Click on next button, and purpose and description are like optional. So if you want to give some detailed information about this particular Oracle connection and all, you can give this connection details and all. Whenever you give this purpose and description, and the Talend will generate auto documentation. It will generate a documentation on a job and all this stuff. So there you'll be getting a complete description section which is filled with some values, whatever you fill here. We'll discuss that. Click on next button. Select database type as Oracle with service name. That is the software which I have in my machine. I selected Oracle with service name. You just need to fill this form. What is the username, system, and the password is something like manager, and server is localhost. I just installed in my local machine, so that's the reason it was localhost. Or else you need to give the IP address of that particular server, service port number, and service name is XE because I have Express edition in my machine. So that's the reason it was XE. And once you fill all this form, just click on check button to check whether the connection is success or not. It was saying connection is successful. So my Talend is successfully connected to the Oracle. Now I can pull the data from Oracle and I can push the data into the Oracle. And so I said okay, and I just said finish. So the connection is ready. So the connection which I created now is Oracle demo 1 2 3. This is the connection which I created. The same way, I want to scan the metadata of a file, basically delimited file. So see how to do it in Talend. It is again easy. Go to file delimited. Go to file delimited. File delimited. Right click and say create file delimited. I'm just saying employee employee underscore demo underscore demo. And again, purpose and description is optional, and you can maintain the version also here. We have versioning also, and click on next button, and you just need to choose the file. So I'm just going to the temp folder, and I have this is the file, right? I'm just selecting this particular file. This is the file here. It will show you the file. Click on next button. What is the file is having header, and file having a delimiter called pipe, and each and every row is separated with new line /n, next line, new line, next line, or /n we can say. So click on next button. So this is a simple form that you need to fill. What is my field separator? By default, it was semicolon and comma, tab, and space. So most of the files you'll be getting with semicolon as a field separator, field, attribute, column, all are like all are similar. Suppose if I wanna in my particular file, I have a pipe delimiter, no? So I just need to give the pipe here instead of this semicolon. I need to give the pipe. And the row separator is by default it was end of the line is /n, and it has a heading also. So I'm just saying set heading row as a column names, and click on refresh preview so that you can see the data in a tabular format. It's taking time. Give me a second. Once you see the data in a tabular format, so see employee number, employee name is the header, and these are the columns and data, row and all. So once you see the data in a tabular format, that meaning of that is you properly gave your field separator and row separator, all this stuff. So after that, just click on next button. We'll talk about this footer and we'll talk about this limit, all this later. Okay, if you have some empty rows, if you wanna skip them, you can use this option. If you have a footer in a file, like some files will come with a header and a footer also. In the footer, they will provide some information like when the particular file is created, who is the author of the particular file, and how many records are there in the file, and when it is created, all this stuff they'll put in a footer. The same way, header will be there. So whenever I selected this option, set heading row as a column names, then only the header is one. See, if I selected this option, then the header is one. Meaning is the Talend, while reading the data from that particular file, Talend will skip the first line because the first line is not the data. It is some information like header, I can say. The actual data is started from the second line. So that's the reason that whenever I give a header as one, when I selected the option called set heading row as a column names, it was saying the first row is header. So don't read the data from the first line. Read the data from the second line. That's how it represents the one. And click on next button. When you click on the next button, uh, Talend will guess the metadata. It will guess the metadata like what is the first column and what is the second column. See, it was saying employee number is an integer, employee name is a string, and salary is an integer, and length also it is scanned based on the data available in the particular file. How it guessed? See, it took some sample rows like some 10 or 20 to 20 rows, and it checked the data in that particular column. It saw that all the columns are having, all the employee number is having numbers. It doesn't have any character or something. That's the reason it guessed the metadata as an integer. So if you,
Mahesh, one question.
yeah, go ahead.
So while getting the metadata, it was able to get the right the value with what is the maximum value, and it was the metadata for that particular field.
Yes, it gets the length and all based on the maximum length available in a particular file. You can change it. We'll be having a mapping specification document, so that will be created by client or Scrum Master, the lead, or we only create that mapping specification document. In that document, we'll be having idea about that particular source system, this particular file. Here it was 3 digits. In future, it may come with some 10 digits. So based on the mapping specification document, we'll simply change this. I can change it to 10, and I can increase the length. So basically, it will guess the metadata. Somehow it will guess the metadata, and if you know anyhow, we'll be having the complete idea about that particular source system. So we'll be increasing length based on the requirement. We can increase it. There is no restriction. Suppose there is a column called uh, something like sex, male or female will be there, right? So maximum length is like some file. Don't require, it doesn't require to give some 10 or something. So based on the business, if you know the business and if you are, we basically involved in the business meetings and all, we'll be in the scrum call, we'll be discussing with the client, all this stuff will be there. We'll be speaking with the business analyst. So based on that knowledge, we can change the length and all. Okay. So I'm just increasing the length and after that say finish. So I just created a metadata for a file delimiter that will be available in this particular list, employee underscore demo. And this is the connection which I created now, Oracle underscore demo 123, right? So let me create a small job in Talend. So I have a list of jobs already there in so let me create one more job. I just say right click and say create job. And while creating a job, you must need to give a proper meaningful information on the job name. I'm just saying job demo kind of demo. Click on finish. Whenever you click, whenever you say finish, then only the Talend will open like this. So this is the place where you have to create your ETL flow. Suppose I want to load the data from file to table. So drag and drop this particular file and it will give you the supporting components. So I want to read the data from a file. So that's the reason I need to choose T file input delimiter. The component name is T file input delimiter. So if you double click on this component, you can see the properties of the particular component, like from which file it needs to read the data, what's the row separator, what's the field separator, whether the file is having header or not. If you want to see the metadata, you can see from here. All this stuff is there. And I want to load the data into the Oracle, right? So the file is my source now, and I want to load the data into the Oracle. So drag and drop the Oracle from here to here, and choose it as the Oracle output. I will while learning Talend, I'll give each and every I'll be giving explanation for each and every options for source and target and all the transformations. Okay, so, so once source is ready and target ready, I need to create a connection between these two. Select the icon, right click, row, main, click on row and main and connect it to the target. That's it. One ETL job is ready. There is no transformations in between. It's like a direct load from file to table. So file is my source and Oracle is my target. So double click on the Oracle output component. So if you want to load the data into the Oracle, you must need a table, right? So the table is not there here. I'm just giving a table name saying EMP underscore something like 29/08/2017, today's date. Okay. So let me go to the Oracle. I'm just saying select star from EMP underscore 29/08/2017. Okay. Let me check whether the table is available or not. It was saying table or view does not exist. Table itself not there, but I can create the table from the Talend. So I just gave a table and output. This is my output connection, Oracle output, right? So it is going to, I'm going to load the data into this particular Oracle. So and I just, whatever I provided at the time of metadata scanning or creating a connection, everything came here, host name, port number, username, password, and everything. I need to give the table name where I need to store the data, where I need to load the data. And there is an option called action on table. If you see this, and I can see a create table if it does not exist. If the table is not there, it's going to create a table. Drop the table if exists and create. If the table is already there with some structure, it will drop the table and it will create that. It will recreate the table again. And in the same way, you can truncate the table for each and every load. If you want to truncate the table and you want to load the data, you can do it. If I say default, the target table should be exist. If the table is already there, just put default so that it will open the table and it will load it. So I'm just choosing create table if it does not exist. If the table is not there, just create it. That's it. Everything is done. And there is a run tab here. You have to run the job from here, or else you can run the job from here, or else you can click on F6 button to run the job. So let me run the job. So if you click on a run button, it will execute this particular Talend job. So So it was the job was executing and it loaded around 16,903 rows to the target. So
Mahesh, so don't we have the compile option in this while
uh,
creating a job in Talend?
no,
No
only
concept of.
no. At the time of see, if you have any issue, automatically it will compile and it will execute. Suppose if you have any issue with this particular source or target systems, obviously it will throw an error. Suppose if you forget to give this double quotes, okay, everything should be I mean in Talend you have to give everything in double quotes because then only it will consider as a string. Suppose if I have forget to give a double quote here, if I want to execute this job, if I execute this job, it will throw an error. The compilation error and all will come at the time of run. See,
Okay.
it will throw an error. And this error was not that much clear. It was saying string literally is not properly closed by double quotes. Okay, fine. But where? If you double click on this component, where you need to. So if you want to find proper like where it is and all, and I have a place called code here. This is designer. The same way I have a place called code. If you go to this particular code, so it will take some time. It will show you the background. I mean, it will show you the code generated by Talend in the background. So this is the Java code the Talend developer at the time of creating a job. So I just drag and drop the components. It generated this much code in the backend. So if you know Java, you can easily understand it. If it doesn't know also, it's not a big deal to understand. See here, there's a place called red mark. If you place your mouse cursor there, and if you click on that, it will show you where it is. It was saying, see, T file input delimited, and the place where that error is there. So this is the place you can see that error. So you just miss this particular double quotes. You cannot edit here. You can't edit here. You can see where the error is, and you can come back to the designer, and you can give that value like this. So I just asked the Talend to create a table. Create table does not exist and load the data, right? Now let me go to the Oracle. Earlier I executed the same query. I got an error saying table RV does not exist. If I execute the query now, you can see the table is created and data is also loaded. Any questions? Any questions? I see Kavinaya. Kavinaya joined. Hi Kavinaya. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Any questions? So this is how you can create a job. So it's very easy. If you want to add filter here, suppose if you want to filter out the data, don't want all the data. If you want to put filter, you can use a component. You can start typing here, or else you will be having a palette. You can see a palette here. Palette. There you can see a lot of components. Uh, File components, Hadoop component, file input, delimited output, JSON, full row, Excel, delimited. Uh, you can pull the data from a mail component also. If you have a mail and the mail have some files attached, if you want to pull the data from the mail directly, you can pull the data from the mail directly. The MS delimited, positional files, and all this. In the same way, we have a logging components to capture the log, how much time the job executed, where the job failed, how many records floated from source to target, how much time the job took to execute. All this information you can capture through these particular components. And again, so based on these components, the logging level also defined. If you want less log, you can go with small components. If you want a complete log, we can go with some other components like that. We have some more components here. In the same way, processing components like filter rows, sorting data, aggregating the data. Suppose if I want to filter out the data, simple I want to filter out the data. I have a component called T filter row. The component name is T filter row. Place the component in between these two components like this. Connect the dot source to this and row filter to the target. Suppose I don't want all the data. I want only department number 10 data to the target. Double click on it. Click on plus button and select the column on which you want to apply the filter condition. Department number equals to value 10. Department number equal 10. not equal to, greater than, not equal to, less than, all this stuff. Suppose I give only department number 10 records, right? So if I execute the job now, it is going to filter out the records. Only the records which satisfy the filter condition will go to the target. See, there are around 16,903 records. Out of these records, only 2,401 record are like department number 10 records. Only that records will go to the target. Remaining and all will get filtered out here. If you want to capture that filter records in some other table, that is also possible. So from here, there will be two output links. One is filter data and another one is reject data. You can capture like this. The filter condition satisfy records and will go to this particular flow, and rejected records and will come to this particular flow. In the same way, if you want to sort the data, I have a component called tsort row. I mean, there are two ways. You can directly type. If you know the component name, you can click here and you can type. Or else you can go to the palette and you can search for that component. If I say MS SQL, Microsoft SQL Server output, you can take this like this, and you need to configure that. So if you want to sort the data, use this component. Suppose after this filter, you want to sort the data, you can sort the data like this. You need to give the component, I mean, on which column you want to sort the data. Suppose I want to sort the data based on the salary, that ascending or descending. And if you want to sort the data department wise on a salary, you just need to select the department in ascending and salary in descending. Department wise, the salary will get sorted. First it will be sorted on department number as ascending. After that particular group, again salary is sorted on the descending. So like that, if you want to remove the duplicates, once after the sorting or before the sorting or at the time of before the job execution itself, you wanna remove the duplicates, you can connect like this. So all are drag and drop on the connections only. Okay, there is a lot of stuff hidden in the Talend. We'll discuss each and everything. So here you need
Yeah,
to select the
Mahesh.
key attributes, all this. Yeah.
From row filter, we have drag the reject link, right?
Hmm.
And we are collecting the data to the another Oracle demo thing. So should we create another table for this data, or how it is collected there?
Yeah, you can have to create another table. Say reject table.
Okay.
Something like that. Reject, filter,
Yeah,
reject.
sure. Thank
Like that.
you. Okay.
Action on table, create table does not exist like that. If it doesn't have a table, it will create. The same way, Unix will be going. Unique records will go to this particular flow. Reject records and all you can capture. Duplicate records and all you can capture in some other table. I mean, it is not mandatory. If you want, you can capture. Also, you can capture only unique records. This is how you can. I mean, see how much time it took. Suppose you want to give the title to this particular sub job, you can give a title, and if you want to add some notes, you can add the notes here. So if you want to increase the speed of the job execution, then you can choose the multi-threading parallelism. Basically, if you choose multi-threading, it will execute the jobs in parallel. So there are a lot of hidden steps, hidden things are available. Any questions?
Mahesh, I got one question. Instead of directing the what is a rejected output to a server, is it possible to just to report those rejected records?
Yeah,
You are directing the
yeah, you can report them using the component called tlog row. So it will simply displace the duplicate records and all in the run console itself.
okay.
If you put the tlog row, no, if while you are executing the job, here itself it will represent. I mean, it will show the records. You can report them, or else you can capture them in a file and you can send that file back to the client. While sending, if you want to add some error message to that as a one column, you can add one more column and you can put some error message saying job is failed because of, I mean, the records are rejected because they are duplicates. See, I can see the rejected records here itself. So the reject flow. This is reject flow, and this is something like reject flow. Filter records on reject flow, like that. Yeah, that's not based on the requirement. You can do whatever you want. So basically, it supports most of the components, even those are not available in Informatica and data stage. Other paid popular ETL tools also doesn't have some components. The Talent has it because it's open source. Uh, it came with a full pack to the market. That's the reason most of the clients are switched to the Talent. We saw number of see the company which I worked earlier. It's like conversion. Most of the stuff they work is like conversion projects, like Abnisho to Talent migration, data Oracle warehouse builder to Talent migration, uh, Informatica to Talent migration. All these migrations projects and all taken care by that particular company. So most of the clients are interested to move to Talent because the license is cheaper when compared to other ETL tools, and performance, all this stuff are like good. Then why they want to spend more money on a so that's the reason they are moving from other ETL tools to Talent. So that's different projects again. And fresh projects also we started on Talent. Why? Because these guys given a very good connections to all the source systems. If some new database came in the market or new concept came in the market, immediately we'll create a connection and it'll give you a connection. So using that you can connect. That's how it was. Any questions? Any questions from anyone? Any questions or any?
Mahesh,
Yeah.
to migrate Informatica mappings to Talend, or we need to.
Oh, can you come again?
It's possible to migrate Informatica mappings to Talend.
Yes. Not directly. Not directly. We need to do some workaround. Like we need to understand the code on a Talent and data Informatica, and we can do a smart way to convert from Informatica to Talent. I'll tell you. Yeah, it's possible. Any other questions? So again, I'm going to start the batch from tomorrow itself, the same time like 6 to 7 a.m. Uh, and if you have any time constraint or something, you can let me know. That it's on the same link. The talent is. I mean, I'm going to start the testing session from tomorrow. If you guys are interested, you can join you can join, and you can attend some 2 to 3 classes. And if you feel comfortable and if you feel okay, then you can continue. No issues. So the fee and all we'll discuss in offline on my personal number like 9700465570. You can call me, and yeah, that's about on talent demo. If you have any questions, you can ask me, or else you can drop it. So once after the talent course, I'll be providing a project as I told us earlier. So I'll be providing one project, complete data warehousing project, and one conversion project, as you asked, Informatica to talent migration. One migration project also I'll be explaining, and how to do it. Like what are the steps that we follow to do while doing a migration project. What are the steps that we follow at the time of doing a conversion project. All this stuff we'll discuss. And documents required, mapping, how the mapping spec looks like, how the design document looks like, how the run guide looks like, and how the deployment guide looks like, how the deployment strategy, and how the testing can be done, how the UAT can be done, what is prod and pre-prod, all this stuff like the real-time stuff we'll discuss, so that it will be easy for us to crack the interview, or while working in a talent environment, we won't feel any uh, surprises. So that real-time stuff will cover as per this training. Okay, then I'm just stopping here. Sudhir, uh, we'll be having class from tomorrow. I think you have a software installed and everything ready, I think so, right? So,
Yes, Mahesh, I have them.
okay. Manu, are you ready for, you are there, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
everything is.
okay, then Prasad also I see offline. Abhi, and you guys take a decision and let me know so that I'll share you the software and all.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mahesh. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.